Hi everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day and welcome to my channel. The wonderful Angelina Jordan performed the song Valerie and then made a video clip to go with it that we'll see in a moment. My last video, Bohemian Rhapsody of Angelina's, unfortunately got blocked after a few days being online due to copyright reasons. I'm hoping most of you got to see this already before it was blocked. But unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. Copyright is there and exists for a reason, and it is a good thing. Sometimes even I get frustrated at putting in a lot of time and effort to a video and then seeing that other reactors or other people have been able to upload the same video, yet mine's been blocked. I've had quite a few videos blocked lately due to copyright. Luckily, none of them are copyright strikes. That would be bad. And that's why I don't pursue it any further at that point, because I don't want it to head to a strike, which is a possibility after that. But anyway, copyright's there for a reason. I'm not a copyright lawyer or a copyright expert, but it's a tricky thing to understand. It's like, you might say, like there was a song, an Australian hit in the 80s, by a band, Men at Work, called Land Down Under. Very famous song from Australia. And this song was written by Men at Work, or it might have been by Colin Hay, the lead singer and guitarist, I'm not sure. And then a few years later, there's a flute solo section in the song that was claimed to have been copyrighted from the tune Kookaburra Sits in an Old Gum Tree, and then royalties had to be paid to the owners of that copyright. I mean, that's a fair enough thing if there's something copywritten. But it's complex and it's interesting because a piece of something can be claimed as copyright. For example, in just my opinion, Men at Work song, the song has its own themes, its own topic, its own sound, yet a small instrumental section that has a few notes bunched together that are very similar, if not quite similar, to another tune, and then it's pulled for copyright, or at least a percentage of the royalties from the song. I mean, that's how copyright is. And this is an interesting concept because in thinking about Angelina's style, and I've said before, she can't be classified, as many artists, can't be classified in one simple description. Nor does she have to be, nor does anyone have to be. Angelina sings in such a range of styles, and she really does a brilliant job at everything she does, every different style. So the question is, can anyone own copyright on a note? No, of course you can't. On a bunch of notes put together in a certain way with a certain rhythm, I suppose, yes, you can. Lyrics, yes, you can, but can someone own a word? No. Can someone own a little theme in a song? Well, yes. Can someone own a piece of vibrato? No. Vibrato is a technique or a tool in your toolkit. Can copyright be made of a raspiness when used? No. So sometimes artists get compared to other artists, particularly if they've previously sung that particular song and either had a hit or not had a hit from it. So every musician or every vocalist, in this case, that when we're talking Angelina or other vocalists, we use certain techniques. Vocalists may use a raspiness, as Angelina does in a lot of her music, and she uses vibrato, but so do other people. But what I'm getting at is people take these ideas, we try and emulate bits and pieces from artists we love or artists that we are trying to emulate parts of, and then it develops into our own style. So what I'm saying is everybody is unique. So getting back to what I was saying about Angelina singing in a range of styles, she brings everything together and it's in the package, and this is her. No one else can copy her. She's not copying anybody else. She may be using vocal techniques, but these are just tools in our toolkit. So she has her own unique style, which is her. And it's brilliant. And let's move on. So the song she's singing is Valerie. This song was written by a number of artists, and they formed most of the band called the Zootons, and the song was released in 2006. The members that wrote the song were Abby Harding, Boyan Chowdhury, Dave McCabe, Russ Pritchard, and Sean Payne. Their album that this song appeared on was called Tired of Hanging Around. And Dave McCabe said it was written in 20 minutes, the song, and that he got the idea for the song while riding in a taxi to his mum's house. And the song was written about makeup artist Valerie Starr, who was a friend of David McCabe's. So then another popular version came out after this that was released by DJ, musician, songwriter, record producer Mark Ronson. And this featured Amy Winehouse on vocals. And this version of the song reached number 2 on the UK's singles chart in 2007. So anyway, Angelina's recorded this song as well. And the video clip, she actually went to Venice Beach and recorded, when she was at Venice Beach, recorded this video clip, which features the backup dancer who is her little sister. Fantastic. So anyway, let's get into it and let's hear Angelina singing Valerie.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I come home, when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look at a dress. Won't you come on over? To go to jail, put your eyes up on the stage, you get a good yeah. I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? Did you have to pay the fine that you dodging all the time? I used to dizzy. Since I come home, when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look at a dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie? Sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I come home, when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look at a dress. Won't you come on over? Making a fool out of me. Why won't you come over, Valerie? Valerie, Valerie, Valerie.
Excellent, right? Oh, wow. And what a great version of that song. I love Angelina's version of this song. And you know what I'm going to do? I want to play it again in its entirety, then I'll break it down. But before I play it again, these are some of the highlights that I'll come back to. One is her choice of where she's using that raspy tone, the raspiness in her voice. And that suits this song down to a T. She's chosen where to use it. There's a spot there, or at least one place, where she chose not to be raspy. And I'll highlight that in a moment. You'll probably hear that in it. There's probably more places in the song with this. Her vibrato is used so effectively where she's used it. And she has this so well controlled. I love it. And a little bit of vocal fry at times. This can be very similar to the raspy sound and is produced in a very similar way as well. So that's really, really interesting. And there are quite a few words that she does these little ornaments on that I want to come to, and I'll highlight those. But anyway, let's hear it again, and you'll hear some of those things. Then I'll break it down.
But sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I come home when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look at a dress. Won't you come on over? To go to jail, put your eyes up on the stage, you get a good laugh, yeah. I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? Did you have to pay the fine that you dodging all the time? I used to dizzy. Since I come home when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look at a dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie? Sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I come home when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look at a dress. Won't you come on over? Making a fool out of me. Why won't you come over, Valerie? Valerie, Valerie,
Oh, yes. Excellent, wasn't it? And yeah, I'd like to go back now and highlight some points. And, you know, she chooses when to use the raspiness, as I said before, and it just suits perfectly. And she knows when to add in a bit of vibrato and when not to use vibrato. It adds colour to the music. But the other thing is her dynamics. And there are some words, and I'll come to these specific examples in a moment, where she sings maybe at a moderately loud tone and then pulls back to a soft tone at the end of the phrase. And it's done so beautifully. So I'll come to a couple of those things. I mentioned the raspiness. Let's start with that. Have a listen at this point. I mean, the raspiness, you could really go to anywhere in this song, and she's using a lot of it, and I love it. It suits the song, and it assists in her delivery of the vocal absolutely well.
And I met your ginger hair and the way you look at a dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie?
Brilliant, wasn't it? And I'll go back and play that again.
Ginger hair and the way you look at a dress. Won't you come on over? I'm making a fool out of me. Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie?
Yeah, I love it. She does it so well. And let's go back to this point in the song as well and hear some more of her raspiness.
Valerie, did you have to go to jail?
Yes, brilliant. So the raspiness is a stylistic choice. And, you know, Angelina's made this song her own version. This is her version. She's not like anybody else. Sure, Amy Winehouse uses a lot of raspiness. But as I said before, and other artists, of course, do too. Raspiness isn't a thing that is copyrighted. It's just a technique, a tool you have in your toolkit. You might use a bit of raspiness, vibrato, vocal fry, a growl here and there, bit of distortion. And these things are in your toolkit as a vocalist or as a musician, depending on what instrument you're playing, and voices as an instrument or is an instrument, using your voice as an instrument. And you take these elements of your toolkit and you put them together with your own personality, your own life experience, and it all melds together and comes up with this blend that is your style. But anyway, let's hear that again from, yes, this point.
Did you have to go?
Yes, and now let's hear it from this point in the song.
I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I come home.
Ah, wonderful, isn't it? Let's go back and hear that again, yes, from here.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I come home with my body's...
Whoops, I can't find my mouse. Let's now go to this point in the song. It's just after this.
Why won't you come over, Valerie? Valerie.
Okay, and I'll play that again. From here.
Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why won't you come on over?
Now let's go to some of her beautifully and brilliantly controlled vibrato.
Since I come home when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look out of dress. Won't you come on over, stop making a fool out of me? Oh, I want you to come on over, Valerie. Valerie.
Okay, let's hear it again. There were quite a few examples in there. There was one note in particular I noticed where she didn't use the vibrato. That gave it the variation that it needed. It was brilliant. I'll try and point that out as it's going this time.
Since I come home when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look out of dress. Won't you come on over, stop making a fool out of me?
Yeah, I'll go back in this beautiful run that she does here. Oh, there's just so many things. So if I go back, we'll pick up and I'll let it play on a bit further. You'll hear all of those.
Since I come home when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look out of dress. Won't you come on over, stop making a fool out of me? Oh, I want you to come on over, Valerie. Valerie.
Okay, yes, really well done. And she's really controlling that vibrato well while still retaining the raspiness too. So hard to do and so well done. Let's go to this point in the song again to hear and see a few a few examples, and we'll see the video clip too, of her beautifully controlled vibrato.
You have to pay the fine that you dodging all the time. I used to do say, since I come home when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look out of dress. Won't you come on over, stop making a fool out of me? Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie?
Great, isn't it? Okay, and her vocal fry, which as I said is quite similar to the raspiness, but you can particularly hear the fry here.
And I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I come home when my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you look out of dress.
Okay, so I'll play that again.
And I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture.
Great examples. And another place in the song a little further on. Here.
And I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture.
Okay, hear that? So let's have another listen to that one.
And I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture.
Brilliant. Now let's go to some of her higher end singing in this song that I really love.
Won't you come on over, stop making a fool out of me? Oh, I want you to come on over, Valerie. Valerie.
Yes, she's got this really bright tone that really livens the song up and sounds so good. Let's hear that again.
Won't you come on over, stop making a fool out of me? Oh, I want you to come on over, Valerie. Valerie.
Yes. And again at this point.
Sometimes I go out.
Sorry, a little bit further on than that. At this point.
Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why won't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie.
And now let's go and hear some of her beautiful resonant low register.
Did you have to go to jail? Put your eyes up on the stairs. Did you get a good yeah. I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere?
Yes. Let's hear that again.
Did you have to go to jail? Put your eyes up on the stairs. Did you get a good yeah. I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy?
Yeah, brilliant. And there's another example near the beginning. Right at the start.
But sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture.
Yes, let's hear it again.
But sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture.
Okay, now for some of my highlights. Things that I just loved because I loved them. Which one do I start with? I've got quite a few here. So have a listen to this. She sings the word water and she stops the sound halfway through water. You'll hear what I mean. I love the way she did this. It was really well done.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water.
Yeah, it's a very, very small break between war and ter. It's very, very small, very subtle. But that's why it's so good.
I go out by myself and I look across the water.
And she doesn't pronounce the t very much there as well, the water. Keeps that, holds that right back. I really love the way she did that. The next thing is the way she fades out dynamically and has excellent control. At this point, you'll hear what I mean. So those ends to her word, singing the word Valerie there, she fades out just with such impressive control.
I want you to come over, Valerie.
Yes, and in the beginning, or near the start, a very similar thing where she does the same thing, fades it out.
I'm making a fool out of me. Oh, I want you to come over, Valerie. Valerie.
a very quick decrescendo or a fade out there. And she does that so impressively. Have a listen at this point to her back phrasing.
I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you.
Oh, I love it. 120. Let's go from here.
I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy?
I'll play that little bit again too because she's using back phrasing there and it's so effective.
Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy?
Yeah. And at this point, I really love the way she has a bit of an ornament on the word picture.
And I think of all the things what you're doing. In my head, I paint a picture.
Yeah, in fact, a couple of ornaments on the word picture. I loved it.
In my head, I paint a picture. Since I come home, when my body's been a mess, and I miss you.
Yes, and the way she sings the word Valerie at this point, I really loved. You know, she sings it differently each time, the word Valerie. She could have just sung it the same each time, but the variation really gives that, well, it gives that variation and that expression that makes it so interesting that it is different each time. Really well done.
I want to come over, Valerie.
Yes, that would be a great point to stop, but no, I've got another point I want to come back to and highlight. And it's this part where she doesn't use the raspiness. She's made the stylistic choice to sing it straight, and it's really nice as well.
I want to come over, Valerie.
And a little bit of nice vibrato on that one there. Tiny bit of vibrato there. Ah, yes. So much to admire. And there are so many more things here that I have that I just love because I love them. But I could go on for a lot longer. But I won't. I had better stop there. I hope you enjoyed my video today on Angelina Jordan singing Valerie. And I look forward to seeing you back again soon. So for now, I'll sign off. Goodbye.